Hey, what's up, NFL nerds? We're back with another NFL video. I know it's been a while since I have uploaded. It's been a really busy past couple months, but I want to get back into doing some off-season videos, and I figured what better chance to make a video than to do a mock draft. So, here we'll be doing a 3-round mock draft. Just going to be on the Draft Network mock draft machine. Do 3 rounds, do manual there. Okay, start draft. Alright, so we're not going to be doing any trades or anything like that, since it's, this machine doesn't really, it's a little complicated to do trades this way. But this number 1 pick, I think it's a surefire pick at this point. Bengals select Joe Burrow. That's obvious. I think it's also a pretty surefire pick that the Redskins will take Chaisson. But here is where you can get a little bit of controversy here. I've seen some mock drafts where the Lions take Derrick Brown. I've seen some where they take Isaiah Simmons, Andrew Thomas. Well, I think they will actually take Jeffrey Okudah. Number 4 here. Now, I just want to clarify here. These aren't necessarily who I want these teams to pick. It's who I think these teams will pick. I have the Giants taking Andrew Thomas. I think he'll be a good fit for them, protect Daniel Jones a little bit. I think it's a much needed upgrade on the offensive line. Right here, I have the Dolphins taking Tua Tagovailoa. I think that's a pretty set in stone pick, I think. But I guess you never know. The Chargers, I think they will very much look to replacing Phillip Rivers, and I don't think they're going to do that in free agency. I think they're going to actually draft Justin Herbert. The Carolina Panthers will be taking Derrick Brown. I actually really like this pick. The Panthers' defensive line struggled in run defense this last year. Yeah, they were really good at pass rushing, but their run defense was just awful. Honestly, the worst in the league. So I think Derrick Brown will really help with that. The Cardinals, I've seen a lot where they take Tristan Wirfs or Jedrick Wills, guys like that to tighten up the offensive line. But I think they're gonna end up taking Ceedee Lamb. Reuniting him with Kyler Murray. Man, I think that's too good to pass up. So the Jags, this one's a complicated one for me. They have some really big needs. And it's a really hard one for me. But I think they will end up going with Isaiah Simmons. I think he's going to be the pick for them. Right here, I actually have the Browns taking Jedrick Wills here. The Jets, I think they will be really well off taking AJ Epenesa out of Iowa. The Raiders, they definitely need some big playmakers on offense. I think Jeudy is that perfect fit. The Colts, they're looking to, replace their quarterback. They have a few other needs, but I think quarterback should be their number 1 priority. And I think Jordan Love will be perfect for them. Here at number 14, we have the Bucs. Now, they've needed offensive line help for a while, but they've also needed secondary help for a while. I think they're going to attempt to repair that offensive line a little bit with Tristan Wirfs. Now, keep in mind, there's some offensive tackles here that you may be reaching a little bit for. I personally, after watching tape on all of these offensive tackles, I personally think Mekhi Becton is the best offensive tackle in this draft. I would even take him above Andrew Thomas. He's consistently really good. He's a really good pass blocker and run blocker, and I think he's one of those guys that could very well be a franchise offensive tackle. I think got to take a chance on him. Here I have the Broncos taking Henry Ruggs. They need another good receiver to go along with Courtland Sutton. And I think Henry Ruggs will be a great fit for them and a good weapon for Drew Lock. Here I actually have the Falcons taking Kristian Fulton. They needed some help with their secondary, and with all the receivers in that division, with, Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, DJ Moore, all those guys, Kristian Fulton will be a really good pick for Atlanta to pick up there. For the Cowboys, I have them taking Grant Delpit. They've needed safety help for a while now. I think Grant Delpit is that physical, but also good in coverage safety that they really need on their defense, and could be a huge piece for them. Back to the Dolphins here. I actually have them taking... I'm actually going to have them take Chaisson. I think he will improve their pass rush and their run defense quite a bit. Their run defense was probably second worst in the league this last year, and I think ultimately Chaisson I think is just the good pick here. Here we have the Raiders. I think with the players that are available here, I think they're actually going to go with Trevon Diggs. He's a flashy player. He might have a rough rookie year. He seems like one of those that, maybe a little bit slow at developing, but has a really high ceiling. I really like him in Oakland there. Back to the Jaguars. They addressed linebacker with their first pick. Here, I think they will take wide receiver T. Higgins. I'm going to go ahead and select that. The Eagles have a few needs. They really need secondary help, and they desperately need wide receivers. I think honestly they're going to try to target wide receivers in free agency, and I think they're going to end up drafting C.J. Henderson. The Bills, I think their defense is honestly stout enough here that they don't really desperately need a big piece on defense right now. I think more help on offense will be good for them. I think Laviska Shenault will be a really good pick for them. I like the fit there in Buffalo. New England, I think we all know they desperately need a tight end. However, this draft doesn't really have a lot of good tight ends. You know, there'd be a couple good ones they might be able to take in the second or third round, but not really any right off the bat. So I actually have them taking Yetur Gross-Matos. I think that'll help that pass rush there. Here we have the Saints. I think they will really be looking towards the future. I know Teddy Bridgewater did good when he stepped in for Drew Brees when he was injured, but I don't think he's really going to be that franchise guy. I think they're going to actually draft Jacob Eason out of Washington. The Vikings, if any of you watched, I believe Xavier Rhodes, I think it was, he struggled really badly this season. He was getting burnt deep quite a bit. He was just getting lost in coverage. I think they really need to look towards corner, but I think they'll address that more in free agency. Instead, I think they'll actually go ahead and get Raekwon Davis. Or you know what? No, I take that back. I think they're actually going to get Javon Kinlaw. I think corner in this draft is, they've got a few really good corners, but it's not exactly, it doesn't have much depth there. Like there's a good 3 or 4 corners that, you know, are amazing and they'll go early, but from there's a pretty big drop off, I feel like. Now this one sucks for me to pick because I'll be honest, as a Panthers fan, I really wanted this guy. I think the Dolphins take Mekhi Becton out of Louisville. He's an explosive offensive tackle, and I think he'll be a good piece on that offense to protect Tua Tagovailoa. So, the Seahawks here, I feel like they need interior offensive linemen more, but this draft is also not very deep in offensive line, so I think they're actually gonna go the route of getting Xavier McKinney. I know that one might shock a lot of you, but I think they take a safety here. The Ravens, they desperately need a wide receiver. I think Justin Jefferson is their guy. LSU had a lot of really good wide receivers. Justin Jefferson, man, he was a touchdown machine. I think he's going to be scary in Baltimore, so I think that's who they take. The Titans, I think they really need a good pass rusher. It's been kind of, honestly, average to below average for the past couple years, and I really think they take an edge rusher here. Julian Aquara, I think, will be the pick. Packers, they obviously need a wide receiver. I think they'll target that in free agency, honestly, because at this point, there's really not many good wide receivers available. Might be something they can take in the second round, but right now, I think they will take linebacker Kenneth Murray. The Chiefs, I I think they will take DeAndre Swift, running back out of Georgia. And then 49ers. I think they'll take Neville Gallimore, interior D lineman out of Oklahoma. They really need a corner and, interior offensive lineman and heck, even a safety. But this is a rough part of the draft where, either you have to trade up to get one of the, top guys there, or you have to reach to get, a guy that is a second rounder. So I think here they're going to get Neville Gallimore. I think he's the good fit for them, making their defensive line even better. For the next 2 rounds, I'm going to, try to go a little bit quicker through. I'm not going to discuss each one as much. Sorry, I should have done like a practice draft before this, but I think they will take Raekwon Davis. The Colts, I think, will be taking Ross Blacklock, I think. The Lions, I really like them taking Patrick Queen out of LSU. I think he has first round talent, but will fall into the early second round. The Giants, I think they will take Terrell Lewis. I think they really need a good edge rusher. The Chargers, I believe, will take Damon Arnett out of Ohio State to improve that secondary a little bit. Right here, I think the Panthers will take Josh Jones, offensive tackle out of Houston. I think that's a good pick for them. Their offensive line has been struggling really bad for a while, and I think that's going to be the guy they take. Back to the Dolphins here. Here there's a couple options, but they really need a good running back now. Do we even know who their starting running back is currently? I think they need to take Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. Like the Panthers, the Cardinals need offensive line help, and I think Austin Jackson is the guy for the job. The Browns, they have a few needs here. I think they're gonna end up taking Cesar Ruiz. I'm sorry if I slaughtered that name. Jags, I think, will take AJ Terrell out of Clemson. The Bears, they really need a quarterback. I like them taking Jake Fromm. I think that'll be a really good fit for them, actually. Back to the Colts. We will actually have them taking Lloyd Cushenberry III. And then the Bucks. These team needs kind of here along the side. I don't necessarily agree with them because, the Bucks' defensive line was really good. They were one of, if not the best, run defense in the league this last year. I personally think they'll keep Jameis Winston. I really don't think they need edge rusher. I think they're going to go with another offensive tackle, and I think Prince Tega Wanogo will be a good selection there. The Broncos, I think they'll take Jeff Gladney out of TCU. I think he'll be a really good pick to tighten up that secondary a little bit more. The Falcons, I think, will take Curtis Weaver out of Boise State. I think he also has first-round talent, but will slip into the second round. And, man, I like him. I think he's going to be a stud in the NFL. Here we have the Jets. I actually think in free agency they're going to let go of Robbie Anderson. I think Robbie Anderson will play for a different team, so they'll really need a good wide receiver. I think Jalen Reagor is the perfect guy for him. The Steelers, not really sure why it's saying they need edge, because they've got a really good pass rush. I think them and the Panthers honestly have the best pass rushes in the league. So obviously top 1 or 2 pass rush there. I don't think they need an edge. Tight end seems to be a position they really need. I have them taking Bryson Hopkins out of Purdue. Back to the Bears. They need interior offensive linemen and obviously another tight end. I feel like they also need wide receivers. I feel like they're going to end up getting Donovan Peoples-Jones. We're starting to get into some of the names here that I don't really recognize as much. The Cowboys, I think here are going to... excuse me. I think they need to look towards a new tight end. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Jason Witten retired again this year. I think Cole Kmet will be their guy. The Rams, their interior defensive line is really good, but I think they're lacking a little bit of the, outside pressure. So I think Jonathan Greenard will be their guy. The Eagles, I think KJ Hamler will be a good fit for them. They need all the wide receiver help they can get. The Bills, I think they could honestly use some offensive line help, and I think they'll get that with Lucas Niang. The Falcons, there's a couple routes here they could go, but I think they honestly take Ashton Davis out of California. The Dolphins here, I think they'll take Matt Hennessy out of Temple. He, I think, did very good for them, and I think it's really bringing together this offensive line for the Dolphins. I'm really liking these picks. The Texans, they have a couple, pretty good running backs in Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson. But I think they really need to figure out more of a number 1 running back type of guy. And I think they're going to get that out of J.K. Dobbins out of Ohio State. The Vikings, there's not really a lot of picks here that I really like, but I think Bryce Hall will be a good fit for them right there. Here we have the Seahawks. It seems like what's their tight end's name? Will Dissly, I think. He had an alright year, but I think they need more of a playmaker. I think Hunter Bryant will be that guy. The Ravens really need a linebacker and an edge rusher. I think Joshua Uke, I think I say it, will be their guy. The Titans, I think they'll stick with Ryan Tannehill. I see them getting Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia. The Packers, there is a pretty good receiver available now, too. I think they'll get one in free agency, and they'll also get Brandon Ayuk here. Here we have the Chiefs. It's kind of hard to say what they even need anymore. I mean, their defense has stepped up so much over the past, 9 or 10 weeks, honestly. They've been really good. I don't really see any obvious needs they have, but I think a solid... Or no, we already gave them a running back earlier. I think Jalen Johnson would be a pretty good pick for them. Corner out of Utah. The Seattle Seahawks. I'd say interior offensive line is their biggest need. The best available appears to be Robert Hunt out of Louisiana. Now, keep in mind, guys, we're starting to get into the guys that I don't really know as much about, and I'm kind of just going to be guessing from this point. So bear with me on that. But I think some of these guys will still be really good picks. I think the Bengals will actually go with Antoine Winfield Jr. Get a good safety there. I like the Redskins getting Rashard Lawrence. The Lions, I think... They don't really need a running back because they have Kerryon Johnson. I think they could use interior D-line help. I think Lakeith Fotu will be a good guy there. Rumor is the Jets are looking to trade at Le'Veon Bell. They'll need a new guy there. I think Cam Akers will be the guy. The Panthers. Now, this is one that I've wanted since the season ended. Heck, even since week 15 for the Panthers. Jalen Hurts. I'm not sure if they'll end up moving on from Cam Newton. But if they do, I think Jalen Hurts will be the perfect guy to take the reins, and I think will honestly be a good franchise guy. He has a play style very similar to Cam Newton's, and I think he'll be a really good fit there in Carolina. Back to the Dolphins. Man, the Dolphins have a lot of picks. Did very good at going into rebuild mode. Here, I think they're gonna actually go ahead and get another, or get a wide receiver, and I think they're gonna get Denzel Mims out of Baylor. He's a pretty good, big play type of guy. I think the Chargers will get offensive tackle Matthew Peart to protect Justin Herbert. The Cardinals, I think they will take tight end Thaddeus Moss. The Jags, I think they'll take running back Zach Moss. Browns, I think they'll take Troy Dye. Colts, KJ Hill, I think that'll be a good pick. we'll get Darrell Taylor out of Tennessee. For the Broncos, I think they'll select Jordan Brooks out of Texas Tech. Falcons will be taking Justin Madubuik. I don't know how to pronounce that. The Jets, I think they'll get Cameron Dantzler. Almost selected the wrong guy there. The Raiders, I think they'll get Malik Harrison. This guy, I think, is going to be a huge steal in the third round. They're going to be happy with him. With their next pick, I don't really see them replacing Derek Carr anytime soon. I think they could use a safety, and I think they get that in Brandon Jones. The Cowboys, I think they'll get this may be reaching a little bit, or actually no, I think they'll get Jabari Zuniga, edge rusher. Broncos, I will have taking Ben Barch. Have the Rams taking Natane Muti. At this point, towards the end of this, guys, I'm kind of just guessing, trying to figure out who the best guys available are. Because I feel like once you get to about the third round or so, third or fourth, there's guys that you really don't know their names as much, so you're just kind of looking at their rankings, trying to figure out who's the best available there for your needs. I actually think the Patriots could very possibly take a wide receiver here, and I think it's going to be Van Jefferson. The Saints, I think I'll take Darnay Holmes out of UCLA. Vikings, I think they'll get. I already got a D lineman. Tavon Wallace. I think he'll be a good pick there and maybe a starter in the next few years. The Browns, I think they'll get Laryl Murchison. The Raiders also have a lot of picks here. I think they'll get another linebacker in Evan Weaver. Ravens, I will have selecting Noah Igbenogbe. I can't even pronounce that. I'm sorry, guys. I think the Titans will get another wide receiver in Courtney Davis. The Packers, I believe. Sorry, I didn't mean to right click there. I think they will go interior offensive line with Tyler Biadasz. I'm surprised he's that low on this board. I've seen most boards projecting him in like early second round. I'm surprised he's projected this low here. I think the Chiefs will get Logan Stenberg out of Kentucky. And then the Broncos will get Kyle Duggar. And that will wrap up our first mock draft. I do plan to do some more mock drafts when draft season comes closer. I also plan to do some free agency stuff once that gets closer. Again, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go subscribe, like the video if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Later.